Hey guys, how are you? Yep, I started a stream. Excuse me for wiggling around the camera here. I started a stream on Saturday about this Epstein situation, and I ended up calling it off because I was on a laptop and it was a little bit dodgier Wi-Fi. So I apologize for that, and I thought I'd just come on and give you my quick thoughts. So give us a like, get us trending. Let's talk about it. And got to listen before YouTube takes us down. Yeah, exactly. I think there's a lot to take down for YouTube. They're pretty damn busy at the moment. So here's my thoughts. First of all, it was the most predicted event that probably has ever happened in internet history. That you're not going to get a legal system. You're not going to get the day in court where he spills the beam. You're not going to get the full legal process for the victims where he has to admit or be questioned, at least under the prosecutor's gaze. You're not going to get any of those moments. So the key thing that happens is, what do people think I think happened? And let's just start right at the beginning. One, he's dead. He is actually dead. And he somehow managed to do himself in, aka the official narrative. That's the one that I probably will describe, quite frankly, DMC, Dwayne, and all you others, as the least probably likely. Everything about this has been deception. It could be wrong. I'm guessing. I'm sitting here, armchair critic, different part of the planet. No hotlines to anybody on the inside. I've tweeted out a prison, what looks like an anonymous statement about guards being sent home early, an unlicensed van coming in with the military personnel. That could be a misdirect. It could be true. It's an anonymous statement before the news was released, before he died. Well, maybe not before he died, if he died, but potential for maybe a body swap exists, and he's been whisked out of the jail, so he's scot-free, or someone else killed him, which is getting all the people excited on the Arkan side and Trump and whomever. I'm not interested in that. That's where everybody wants to go. I think where everybody wants to go is invariably not going to be the truth. The majority are wrong. Yes, we were in Karinya. Was there. It was beautiful. We were in the mountains, did a lovely drive. We actually climbed the top of the castle as well, where Prince John was up there, up in Cyprus. Anyway, back to the topic. So he died at his own hands. He died at someone else's hands. He didn't die, and they pulled a trick. So a couple of things that are thoughts on this. Does he still have a use? Many will say they would have let him go. He doesn't have a use. I think a lot of people get new identities. Some of the really high up people that have done great work for the system, they don't want to set a precedent of always whacking them and killing them, because the problem is everybody else in the secret services and dark state sees exactly that and realizes the occupational hazards are a lot higher. You don't get looked after when you've served the control structure well. I don't have too much views about the corpse or what you saw and people looking at the ear and is it the bruising and all of that. Was it because of the result of strangulation? I'm not going to get biological, medical. It's not my expertise. What I can say is I've watched a couple of YouTube channels. One's called Amazing Polly. She's done loads of research. There's a lot of people out there. This one's done loads of his research. Do you know, for example, that he was in a trust that actually won a 30 million Powerball in a state? And that state actually always shows the ball tumbling, and they had a technical glitch and didn't show it that time, and his numbers came up. and he won 30 million. Zorro Trust won it, which is also the name of his New Mexican ranch. So you're talking about a guy that wins, probably odds-wise, one of the biggest things. He just gets a grant for $30 million. This guy's been given money. He never had a talent. He's a sleazeball, a scumbucket. He talks about wanting to ejaculate 3 times a day, keeping underage girls. Where's he got time to market manage and be this genius hedge fund manager? He's been downgraded from a billionaire to a millionaire in the mainstream media real quick. This guy was funded. Every time you hear Epstein, just hear Israel. All the things that were served, it's quite clear this was a manipulation process. It was a manipulation process to get key people in compromised positions. So he gets his own rocks off with his own perversion, his pedo underage perversion. He siphons off and weans wannabes into, here comes the light, into, you know, the kind of like Wasserstein, the casting couch, just a different version of Wasserstein, only underage, dirty deals, compromising positions, wanted to know about little sexual innuendos of different characters. This guy's an agent that's there to create blackmail so that they can be controlled politicians that can appear and do exactly what they're told. This is standard modus operandi. It's just an industrial scale version of honey traps, perpetual honey traps. And the money he was provided by these single billionaires that are all dedicated Zionists and Israelis. I'm going to get the anti-Semite comments coming up, I'm sure. And Giselle Maxwell, the history of the Maxwell. So follow the Maxwell family, the guy who fell off a boat and was suicided, got state burial in Israel, got them nuclear weapons, got them the one tech platform that they used for cracking viruses and all sorts of brains trust that they now have a pipeline into Silicon Valley that literally goes straight into Tel Aviv. So the whole Talpiot program has been fed on innovations in the tech that they've then seized. So, you know, this guy has been involved in so many things. He's been funded from so many powerful people, the families that were in Bronfman, all of these people. This is a cartel. You can't look at this individually about one man, Epstein. This is one particular tentacle of an entire octopus that got caught with its tentacle in the cookie jar. Sorry for the cookie analogy there. But that's, you know, the innuendo bingo phrase that I'm using there is, you know, it's underage cookies that he was fiddling with. And, you know, this is what he did. This is what they do. And all you'll get is, you know, you'll get called out for noticing all of these things. The fact that the one day you don't see the tumbling balls, his trust wins 30 million. These guys are piping funding in there. You don't get the spinning balls, and next thing they know, his number come up. What's the odds of that? I mean, you have a look. I'll bring up this good lady's channel. So I'm not the expert, and I'm not going to dine out of that. My opinion's pretty well formed in that whatever the minutia detail of here, this guy is an epic scale supported control structure supported individual. Whether they disposed of him after his use, or whether they having the last laugh on us. And I do feel that they like that. Polly, Epstein, and mad scientists. Have a look at this lady's YouTube.
Support the establishment.
So I've just got her playing here. I'm not sure if you won't be able to see. I want to get onto a couple of the coincidences here. The family members, this goes all the way to, so Minsky, the Frankfurt School, the connections with Brave New World author Huxley, all the way into Crowley, all families related, worked for, past, present fathers. It's all just one big tentacled octopus that is through here. The bad news is I don't know how you win here. I don't know how you win, because the woman that says she feels for sexual victims was the again Zio, and was exceedingly lenient on him in the first plaintiff. This is the one who understands about women being molested and wants to come down hard on them. And then when it's Epstein comes up, she gives the most lenient possible. This is a system looking after itself. This is perversion, control, and power. This is a lesson in perversion, control, and power. Yeah, what is the chance of winning the Powerball, says Bim Smith? Not high, especially on the day where they say, hey, we can't show you, but the auditors have verified it. That's safe, as if there's Mr. Accountant sitting there watching. Oh, yes, that ball just showed up. Yes, it was a number 6. I can confirm. Quick, candid camera shot. Oh, no. Oh, there was a technical glitch, but here are your numbers anyway. And yeah, order sign off. Of course they do. It's all about giving you, in your mental mind, not having an unclosed thread. Of course it was all very officially done. Yes, very legit. Oh, okay. This guy's winning lotteries for 30 million. He's been siphoned funding that you paid for. He was involved in Bear Stearns. That went down. He got hired into Bear Stearns. He then had a trust that had 6.7 billion that was essentially part of the toxic assets of Bear Stearns in it. And the Fed then bailed this offshore Bermuda company out. It was repaid in full at the behest of the Federal Reserve, paid by, and not only commanded to do so, but actually paid by the Fed. And he's running this firm. He was on the CFR with Robert Rubin. You're talking about he's on the CFR, the Council for Foreign Relations. If there's a bigger head to this vampire squid than the CFR, I don't know it. This is America's version of the Atlantic Council, etc., and the Bilderberg Group. I guess now he's dead. You don't know he's dead. You've been shown a picture. Hey, where's the surveillance footage? Show a certain amount of people. We could all get to see Saddam Hussein having his neck stretched in one of the most savage acts of barbarity that we should shamefully be part of on their justice for Iraqis. Why can't we see this? The surveillance, let me guess, the Israeli company running the surveillance, like on 7/7 in London tubes that just happened to be running it, went down. Like the cameras in Fukushima that were installed, that then saw later bombs grow up. This is you are a farm animal, and there's a bunch of cowboys and cowgirls that sit around the fire and decide who's up for slaughter and how to run and what to run. I mean, it goes through Elon Musk, Maxwell hanging out with him. He's in this tech company. On one hand, he's saying, I don't like where AI is taking us. He's got a tech company where they're inserting a chip in your brain with wiring in to your head so that they can read your thoughts. You can know what your pet is thinking. And at the same time, warning you and talking out of two sides of those mouths. It's totally Masonic. I'm looking at the Liverpool Football Club, the justice on the 96 people killed, and how it was Freemasonry so powerful in the police that they kept covering up the fact that they were at fault for all of this. They're in the cops. They're in the judicial system. They are everywhere. And if that sounds, full-blown conspiracy nut, they are everywhere. The real network on the big stuff. That doesn't mean Joe Schmo, who's not involved in secret societies and part of this, punches you in the mouth, that the cops won't come and do an assault case and normal stuff can happen and real justice can happen. But once you're inside that system, it's a different set of rules. I mean, the Acosta was told he's above your station. You're talking about intelligence here. Don't get too smart. Be nice. You wonder why he gets a sweetheart deal. People are being tapped on the shoulders, and the judge guys are saying you're going to get an appointment on the Trump administration if you play this smart. And let me tell you what smart means. He has pretty cushy ride, and this thing blows over. And you know what's the saddest part for me about this is that nothing will change as a result of this. I want to be a voice of optimism. I'm not a pessimist at all. I'm not a pessimist, but I'm not going to sit here and lie to people about my assessment of the state of this world. This has become bizarre. The state of this planet and the bullshit that they are feeding people has become beyond bizarre. I predicted this, but I'm no credit for that. Everyone predicted this, that he won't make court. And I was furious to be right. Furious to be right because he needed to squirm. And I actually assess he may well not be dead. You know, they may like to set a good signal that you do a good shift and you put your life in danger and you get your mojito and your Tel Aviv home and you're now putting your feet up, a bit of light plastic surgery. He had passports from their buds, the Saudi Arabians and some Austrians, etc., etc. He'll have a new identity. It's very strong possibility too. And he's laughing behind all of his people. I don't know what happened to Chester Williams of Lincoln Park and Chris Cornell of their bands, both dying within each other. Supposedly we're investigating Pizzagate. Who knows? Did they die or they just retire out of the music industry because their records go up in sales when you're deemed to have died and they just get a new identity? And there's probably people that pay for you to do that. It's probably dark webs. I mean, you know, you might see my YouTube channel might go down and you might see somebody vaguely resembling me with big long hair or an afro claiming black African privilege, but sounding a whole bunch like me with big blue eyes glaring at you in similar mannerisms. And that YouTube channel will come alive as this one dies. And I'll have found the surgeon at the dark web there. And I will have gone, you know, who knows what. The point is they're getting sloppy in the way they deceive you. No one apparently ever, according to some tweets of facts. So I'm just haven't fact checked this. Nothing I say about this is fact. It's hearsay, what I've seen written in articles. Nothing has been hard verified. Don't take anything as hard verified. I've read a lot, but they're articles. They can be claimed to be debunked or reframed or be inaccurate. But apparently there's no footage of him doing the deed. That guy shouldn't have had more than a teaspoon this big that was soft rubber and bent like this, twang, that he couldn't even have scooped his own eyeball out with to eat with. You know, he should have had soft white cotton underwear, a pair of flipping shorts and some shuffled brothel creepers, which would suit him no end, flip-flops, and a dressing gown, no cord. There isn't a hook in that room and bars. He's the most wanted pedophile. Pedophiles get slaughtered if they're open. He was in solitary. He's supposed to be watching. How do guards get given off? How do guards get given off? Early. And this guy disappears. How does Barr go and visit him in jail? Could be a fake death, says Jaro B. That's probably, if I had to put it all on, is laughing at everybody. And who knows? But the point is they are getting brazen and sloppy in the way that they deceive you. They're not even caring what you think. And in fact, it's part of their greater control. So we're lying to you. So what you going to do? So first they pretend and try to be honest and keep a dual, talk out of both sides of their mouth and keep a dual game going. Till eventually they're like, screw you, we got you by the balls. So maybe we lied. What you going to do about it? This is all fake. How the hell can anyone in that New York cop shop, that prison, that penitentiary, survive in their careers when the most wanted information source for what is a global pedophile network and an espionage blackmailing scam, which involves people trafficking that's caused endless pain to countless children, not women, children, and probably young boys too, to different audience types, and given them an absolute life of hell, scarred them for death. But everyone must get all riled up about the Me Too movement. And you don't keep this bastard that if he could be made to spill as his beans, like he might have if he was looking at an electric chair or some nasty medieval way of ending his life, could have spilled big beans. How the hell does he end up dead? Who's getting fired and put in jail for being that incompetent? Who said to these guys, you can go 3 hours early off shift? Who's that guy? Where's the name? Where's all this protection? Who's being protected? This whole thing, you Dan goofed so bad. Who are the details on who goofed? Where's the footage? They did similar swaps with Kennedy. They swapped bullets. Some people think they swapped bodies. This is a mockery at you. They're going like this. We run this show. We don't have to explain jack shit. And even if it smells and stinks, screw you. What you going to do about it? Maybe he is. Maybe we rewarded him for finally doing his job. He grasped up so many presidents on dodgy charges. We've been running the roost. This is AIPAC. Every time you hear Epstein, hear Israel. Where did the money come from? Where's the trades as a hedge funder that he made money? He's been downgraded from a billionaire to a millionaire. Now I see he's having money piped through to him from single client billionaires, never got another client, lottery powerballs, and foundations. And those foundations he invested in, when you go onto this Poly website, really done great research. None of my research. I'm not a researcher. I don't even have to dig into this. I have my views already. That doesn't mean I have facts. I just have an opinion. It doesn't tell me anything new about who's running America. You know, AIPAC channels money in black manners to all their core operatives. This is someone who was an operative that was goyim bashing and banging of brats, the same way that Wasserstein does, the same ilk, the same thinking, the same abusiveness, the same power games, the same threat management with old Maxwell, the other Israelite Zio character supporting. Where the hell is this girl? She needs to be put in solitary and given nothing more than a flipping rubber spoon and watched full time. And even her panties must be made of flipping reed so that she can't kill herself by them. I'm telling you, what's going on? What's going on? They're laughing at you. They're laughing at you. Yeah, the main guy, hey, he's gone now. It's kind of this, they've given you the equivalent in this story of the lone gunman narrative. Yeah, this one guy, and he's a radical right-winger nationalist, ran down to the mall, shot everybody. Cops came here. It was a big shootout. He was shooting everyone, and we shot him. All seen, case closed. People died, bury, mourn, call for the end of guns. Usual story. No questions to be asked why, who this guy was, what was his story. Some people, you know, I'm not on the QAnon bus. I'm sorry for those that are. Don't be offended. Some people think, you know, he's in a witness protection program or something like that. I'm sorry, it isn't that way, in my opinion. He's probably still alive, but he ain't in no witness protection program. He's no longer in an official, he's no longer facing legal charges as that person. He's off all of that. He doesn't need to do courtrooms. He doesn't need to do perp walks. He doesn't need to wear the orange overalls. He's not, no one is on your team. Trump isn't on your team with QAnon. If QAnon is so smart, why does he have to talk in riddles and play games like everybody has to sit and do a Sudoku puzzle every time they want to know what the hell's going on? Why doesn't he, if he cared for you, instead of saying, what day this, the sun, the moon, on the 13th day of numerology, this, work out whose it may be, what may I say, what may I not? Screw that, man. If you're a good guy and there's shit going down, guys, you need to watch out. This is exactly what I understand is going down. End of story. You want to sit and get mentally fascinated by someone that's throwing you a Sudoku or a crossword puzzle, and you going, what could it mean? What could it mean? So that without giving you any hard facts, many things could be bent to fit the clue. You think that someone's working on your team? It's controlled opposition. It smells of controlled opposition. It's for the IQ band level between 105 and 115. There you go. Solve a puzzle. Yeah, we're leaking you more information. Go match something that happened to some absurd ephemeral phrase that I made some while ago. You know, and Trump's on your team. You know, Trump's the 10,000 dockets. Whatever happened to the 10,000 dockets? Where are all these guys? So, I mean, they want to hand you a false hope. They want to keep controlling you where you think you're getting a false lead. There is no freaking hope. They are in everywhere. They are in everywhere. The media going with a suicide. Oh, committed suicide. Oh, you're not allowed to say committed. Death by suicide. No one asks, oh, conspiracy theorists going to love this. No, we all just predicted it, mate. We all just predicted it because it's too big. You're hiding the whole pedo ring yourself. The people in the media are the big pedo ring. It's all garbage. So, yeah. What do some of you say? He's being rendered right now, not dead, not saved, rendered. I don't know what rendered means. That's what I do to videos after I've recorded them. I don't agree. I think he's scot-free and he's served his time. He's getting a fat pension. He'll probably be on the Holocaust victims pension payroll now. Germany will have a new name, and he'll be collecting God knows what. And he's been paid well. This guy isn't a financial genius. He was referred to or inspiring. Yes, he fiddles with kids, but he's a genius. It's almost like if he's bright, if he's a genius, that kind of makes, it's okay to be a bit eccentric if he isn't, mate. He doesn't know shit about the markets. What's he ever done? No one could ever show us. He didn't even get the degree he claimed to get, blagged his way into an education in a good school, then got through the Zionist mafia, a job in Bear Stearns to become a useful stooge force to create offshore entities and stick his name next to them to bury toxic matter. He's just a placeholder for a Mossad agent dealing with the big 2008 collapse that had to happen, that they all knew would happen. And where is Ghislaine Maxwell now? We all ask. Where is she now? No one gives us any information. No one releases anything on anything of value. We don't get the video of him topping himself. We don't get a proper still of the picture. The first thing you do at a sign of a crime has committed, you take photos. The guy's dead. He's hanging, stretching his neck. You take photos and how it happened. Somebody's going to have to answer for it. Where are the photos? Where are the leaks? Yeah, he's got his Holocaust potential pension. How's this new for you if you knew about Rudolf Hess? Lex Werner reports says the Epstein stole 46 million. So now he's a victim. You see, all the guys that get fingered, Lex Warner says, Bimsy Smith, Lex Warner reportedly said Epstein stole from him. Of course, they all know, they all hurt. He's the new Bernie Madoff now. No one knew what he was doing. It's all him, and we're all victims. We're all victims. Of course he stole. You mean you funded him to follow through on APAC-orientated interests, Mossad and intelligence-orientated interests from a Mossad family like the Maxwells, which she was like stuck to him like glue, teaching girls how to do blowjobs and to shut their mouth when they were being shown around. Pretty cool. Where is this chick? Yeah. The hate zone, no hollow cash. That's the right term. And Hess was a good goy. My friend Francis, it's Mayor. You are the best. Thank you. I'm not sure I am. A lot of people on all of that a lot better than me. But people will wait for the FBI to declass the Kennedy documents in black and white photos of Bushes with magnifying hand. Yeah, well, it won't happen. It won't happen in this lifetime. It won't happen. It'll keep getting extended. They'll keep having some Zio presidents who will extend the hold. It's not in public interest. Not in public interest, like they did in 9/11. Yeah, I took out Epstein. Yeah, I went around there. I went around there and gave him a fat ear first with a left hook, and then banged his head a few times on his wooden table, and then hung him with my shoelaces like the bomber. Yeah, I don't know what to say to you, chaps. That is optimistic. I don't know what to say to you. That is optimistic. No longer an asset means a liability. I don't know. It's not good for recruitment and taking jobs if you start to top your own agents, because he's clearly an agent. Anyone who doesn't think that he wasn't getting people incriminated so that they could be blackmailed by other parties and proving tapes. You must know that Clinton is so properly strung up with compromising situations that he absolutely will fulfill on all the key elements of Zionism agenda. I mean, he cleared Mark Rich in the last thing he did. He did lots of shifty things. You've got Trump here. these guys that are fans of Trump. If Trump's non-Zio, why do I see him with a yarmulke on the Wailing Wall, wailing and feeling the moment for the destroyed temple and showing up and giving Jerusalem to Israel and saying he's moving the American capital there? And now they're offering money to all nation states. Don't know the exact amounts. Israel is offering money to move your embassy to Jerusalem. So this is how they officiate an annexation. They make it official. It's the same way as they are crowding out in a slow motion genocide and territory theft the Palestinian people. Keep building roads, keep creating new locations where you relocate people, build a wall, knock houses down that are within 300 meters of the wall because they represent a security risk to your country when you're a legal wall that's built on their territory. You own the bulldozer, you have the IDF, you have the nuclear weapons, you have the F-16s that can do range practice over Gaza every now and then when you get one of your operatives to throw a useless scud that couldn't knock a hole in a shithouse's roof over the fence. Then you've got your excuse to go do some F-16 bombing. It's I don't know what to say. It's outrageous, and I knew you wouldn't get answers, and you're not going to get answers. If you keep thinking you're going to get answers, you won't. Mark Rich, SA Link. Yes, he was commodities, big in commodities. And he was also behind the establishment of that big commodity giant Gencore. He was one of the early guys in Gencore, which had quite a tough time in the commodity squeeze. So, the Clinton death count, well, it's anybody. It's lots of people that could have been incriminated. I like that meme and I laugh at it. They're a vile couple, and I'm quite comfortable with them getting tagged every time. But the truth of the matter is, it's not just about Clinton. It's not really about Clinton. It's protecting an entire encircled ring. I laugh at all these charities that want to save child trafficking and save this and save that and all of that, and they're funded by these same IMF and foundations for freedom. Epstein had the foundation for this and all of these noble sounding causes, and all they do is pursue dishonorable pursuits. So starting a charity trying to fight child trafficking and all sorts of things, you're fighting a huge system. They'll feed you crap leads and they'll let you have little minor victories to mop up some guy that went rogue, and they'll keep running the rig. It's like the war on drugs. The Gary Webb wrote the book on that, where the biggest drug smugglers are right in front of you. Your CIA, your military industrial complex, the opium flowing again now that Afghanistan has been doing its stuff. Note the new chair, by the way. Absence of back. I'm on the knees. And I'm upright. This is my lower back saving tools of the trade. So you're probably wondering, what is he doing? Is he levitating? Is he rocking there? I'm rocking like a mad old granny, stroking my Bond villain cat on my lap. Just a little underage pussy on my lap, Meow, meow. Ha ha ha, Mr. Bond. We will get you now. They make all these movies about spies. Oh, you can't believe, by the way, in the same week, 2 Mossad movies released. Glorifying Mossad. No less than Captain America, pecs and biceps. Check this out. Beautiful face. You're going to have to use your imagination quite a bit here. I am the agent saving the black peoples that were being trafficked. Mr. Captain America, the all hero, now as Israeli Mossad operative. No more. We started with the original imperialist Bond movie. Control dark state that you have to grow to love your dark state in the mythological James Bond figure. Then America needed its own for its CIA, Zero Dark 30. Oh, unparalleled access to the CIA files, when we slotted Osama into the sea there, that Muslim burial version, we take him into the middle of the ocean and we drop him, they're doing it all the time, from central Turkey. They get a bomb and they just bomber and load up and they put all those bodies in a row and they Allah Akbar. This is how we do it over the ocean. No, I'm afraid if you speak to my Muslim friends, it doesn't quite happen like that. You know, all of these fake movies, all of these fake narratives, they use Netflix and Hollywood, controlled by the same people, peddle their same fake narrative, peddle their horse, and give you new heroes, the Mossad heroes, our Mossad heroes, doing good work in the name of freedom, liberty, and caring for the only democratic state in the Middle East, which just happens to be run by a military junta and an intelligence force, and spends its whole time undermining all its neighbors, stealing territory, and running and buying its way into the US. So it's got a pipeline of cheap military to test all the latest tech that the American taxpayers paid for on Gaza and Syria every now and then, and who knows, Iran soon, etc. That's the game. You'll soon be, listen, Jerusalem will be the capital of the world soon. They've got it all under wraps. Joe Biden, there's a character, must be freaked out right now if he gets outed during the next election. That guy is a absolute, this is like looking at Jimmy Savile Mark II Biden. Just seeing him around children is enough to make the hair on the back of my neck crawl. I'd just love to smash him a right hook to the jaw just to watch that geriatric's teeth fall out. I mean, there is nothing more sleazy, and he's absolutely, I mean, the shit that comes out of his mouth is unparalleled, and this is their front runner of the Democrats. I mean, it just shows to you, these are just low-level sales reps for AIPAC. You're talking about middle, even junior middle management in a control structure. Smart people don't want to be a front man for a shit parade. You know, wannabes that want to climb the pyramid, they want to get up there so that they can have the Halliburton directorship, so that they can do a ton of work. So eventually they're on the board with Jacob Rothschild and Genie Oil, like Larry Summers, like Rupert Murdoch, like all these other bastards. This is you're in a control fraud, financial fraud game that is orchestrated and run so vast. What on earth does a media mogul have to do with a geriatric Rothschild lineage member in London and an ex-Treasury head guy? How do they come to know each other? How do they meet up? Well, of course they do. Of course they do. As part of being the same octopus, they do all the time. I don't really believe, old world order, I don't really believe that he's dead. But beliefs mean nothing. We don't know. And the only honest thing in terms of facts is to say I don't know. But the real key element is you're never going to find out. They are getting brazen and lying to you. So the bullets for someone who's just joined the stream, and don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. For someone who's just joined the stream on Epstein, the key points, the key takeouts is they're getting absolutely sloppy and brazen, and they don't give a shit. In a prison where no one's successfully been suicided before, you've just got your number one. It's kind of like the steel buildings that fell for the first time because of fire. You know, that's what's going on. So he died, and hey, no one was watching, and hey, he was taken off suicide watch, and hey, there's no footage. Or if there is no footage, you sure as hell ain't going to hear about the fact that it exists, and there's nothing much to say. Aren't we entitled to know? We were all sitting here waiting to hear who you were going to round up. I thought trial trafficking was a big thing. Well, the justice system don't quite work like that. He's dead, he's gone, closed case, no one to sue. Yeah, Netflix have changed their programming, definitely. Yeah, to regular meeting. Yeah, Likud, stop typing and listening to what the man, stop type and listen to what the man is saying. The only democracy in the Middle East. Yeah, indeed. Historic responsibility, loads of hero movies. Why is Saudi so friendly with Israel? So they are part and parcel of the plan. They are part and parcel of the plan. The Saudis, I knew it straight away. He had a Saudi, it goes without saying. I mean, Saudi identities were taken for the whole scam 9/11. That was it. I mean, we never attacked Saudi. Saudi bombers, Saudi guys with box cutters took three buildings down with 2 planes and pranged also into the Pentagon with a 4th. But we attacked Iraq and we attacked Afghanistan. So, I mean, that's all you know. Saudi was just, hey, useful. Give us some passports with Muslim citizens. And half of them showed up alive. Hey, someone stole my identity. I'm so-and-so. And I'm still alive. Oh, okay. So what does that mean? Who was the guy who was actually on the plane? We don't answer that. Why did Deutsche Bank buy this company that did all the shorts on the airlines and made all that money? And then it got exposed. And then the guy never came to collect his profits. Hold on. It's this little company that was bought by Deutsche Bank. Oh, and what about it? Who's in charge of it? Oh, an ex-CIA head. An ex-CIA head was in charge. And the mainstream media just dropped the questioning. We had information. In the beginning, everyone knew. We had information. Somebody was profiting. The Saudis, the Middle East. Oh, let's attack Iraq. Oh, no. Let's not discuss this anymore. But hold on. It's financial. You can see whose account it was. You can get the account number. You can ask who owns the account. You can freeze the account. You can hold the money. You can ask for who the owners are. No. We don't want to discuss that no more. We don't want to discuss that no more. We're like done with that. Don't ask that question. So, I mean, this is the whole thing. It's sloppier than 9/11. It's got more holes in the sieve, and it was a simpler thing. And, you know, I don't know what to say to you. And then you listen to this Google freak, another Zio pig, saying, you know, we can't let Trump, trying to get you engaged in the Trump versus Democrats thing. We can't ever let an event like Trump happen again. So we're going to, you know, in terms of our role, we need to make sure it doesn't happen again. What is your role? Who are you? You're supposed to be a private corporation. What is your role? Media management, filtering news, programming me with what you think I should hear. Get out of here. Get out of here. They need to break these things up. That's what Warren says she'll do. They won't ever really break it up. They broke up Rockefeller's oil. He still owned all the pieces. He's still Zen on mobile. Stop sharing your opinions. Put aside your egos and listen, says Time Traveler. Time Traveler is telling everybody off. You guys better listen. Hey, listen. After 9/11, expect nothing from government. And then I get into Twitter wars with these guys that want to call for the end of capitalism. And this is exactly what they want, which is why the Dems are doing this Bolshevism Mark II communism. You know, then none of these rich private landlords and all of them, they could be closed out so artists can have somewhere cheap to live. And I'm like, what? You think bringing government into this is going to be good for you? We've already got too big a government. Wait till they own all the chips. They already do, basically. But wait till they properly own all the chips. How do you think you're going to live? We've done that. It was called communism, USSR. You live in a concrete, dire flat where everybody has the same chair, the same table, and the same plastic flour on your flipping desk. And you buy your same unit of coffee, and sometimes because we're controlling the price, there won't be any for you. And then you climb in a queue, and you see if you're lucky enough in the musical chairs game of 100 people and 10 units of coffee to actually be 1 in 10 to come away with coffee. That's the game you play. That's what they want. So they've got the kids and the brats thinking they've got an original idea with Bolshevism Mark II. So they're all screaming for more government so that they can have all the toys taken away from everyone because they have nothing anyway, and it suits their politics of envy. That's where we're at. And then you have clowns like this that are winning the lotto ball with a name Zorro Trust, which probably owns his Mexican property. All these properties are owned by Israel. Find out who the ownership, who's going to be in his will. He never bought these things. They were paid for him. What are they doing building on the second island? Who's paying for that? Who's meeting the site manager and saying, put that there and there? Are you guys executing? There's a whole bunch of people doing that. Epstein wasn't relevant. He's not even there. He's been in jail. It's Epstein equals Israel, equals Mossad. That's what happens. They'll get all their assets. They own those islands. You want to find out who runs America? Find out who truly owns the trust and who truly controls the trust for all that land. It was never his money. He was just paid. We'll get you the money. They'll give it to us. AIPAC will go there and then they'll give us aid. We'll recycle that aid back to buy further influence to get more aid. How's that for a circle jerk bubble of Israeli to get AIDS? No, it's as fake as sin, says Old World Order. I doubt it was ever him in jail to start with. I don't know. They've done some shots. Let's be clear. The fakery and fuckery in picture potential now is off the charts. They could do a voiceover that's exactly his voice. I mean, they know my voice now. They could create Max Headroom Mark II with every little pock mark on my my gorgeous complexion perfectly in place, talking with the exact accent and capturing it right now. They could collect your semen and inseminate someone in China and say you raped them if that was the game that they were out to do. To be a bit of a headache, take resources, but they can do whatever they want now. They've got recorded everything. Everything is recorded. Nearly everything is captured. They know what you think, and they want to put a chip in your brain. Never take a chip in your body. Never take a chip in your body. This guy, Epstein, is investing in AI and transhumanism. Go to this lady's channel. Amazing Polly is the name. Let me type it down for you. Check her out. Amazing Polly. Some of the facts I've stated here today come from videos I've watched from her. As I say, facts. I've seen documents. I've seen links and supporting links. It's there. You want to challenge them? Go be a guest. Don't take it from me. This is my opinions. No one truly knows. Never take the mark, Kevin. Smart man, buddy. Smart man. Don't take the mark and never take the chip. Yeah, they got him out. I think they got him out. They either got him out dead or they got him out alive, and he's earned his pension now. He'll be in Thailand banging underage little girls and pimping them out on the beach there, getting free back rubs in the local Israeli safe houses. He'll have a new name, a new passport, probably an Arabic one or an Austrian one, or any nation state of the world, because they literally, Benjamin Bibi Netanyahu has brags about the fact that they're the second biggest intelligence agency outside of America. And they've got a big fat suction pipe right into anything America captures, even to the extent that the own American agents don't know. Well, the USD is your fiat, but you don't have to, you aren't what you pay with. You do realize, says admin, Christianity is a non-European Jewish sect that split from Judaism, since you always state stuff out of the Bible. I'm not sure if that's to me, but maybe it is. So here's my take. And this is kind of like religion based. So this you can chew and chuck out. It's whatever you think. I think, you like to talk of cryptos, and there was a forking in the road. The Judaism lost its way. The money lenders were in the dogs. That's the one moment Jesus got violent. There's one moment where he showed anger and he was violent against usury. And I respect that the Muslim faith has tried a lot harder to keep usury out. The Talmud changed the Torah. The Torah actually excluded usury. Did you know that? Talmud put it back in. Talmud put it back in and said it's fine. It's fine, particularly for Goyim. So you had a fork. And the whole point was you had a choice. Barabbas, the murderer, or someone who said peace and love, can usury, be good unto others. And the Beth Din and the powers that be, the money lenders that were thrown out, made a decision. And that doesn't mean every single Jewish person made a decision, but that control structure for them made that decision. In the same way that if I say the Japanese bomb Pearl Harbor, it doesn't mean little Mai Ling Wai, the cookie maker lady who was in downtown Nagasaki feeding the builders hot tea and cookies, decided she wanted to bomb Pearl Harbor and kill Americans. She didn't. It means, but her government and the people that she put in power or has allowed to represent her in power did make that decision. And that's kind of what happened biblically. And then the minute you go Talmudic, it's kind of It's Moloch, satanic, do as thou wilt. Madoff's big crime in New York, which is very Zio city. The thing that shocked them most was, but he screwed Jews too. He screwed us hardest. That was a break of the Talmudic law. That was a break of the Talmudic law. I can't believe he did it to us and synagogues. It's not he committed a crime of fraud against everyone. It's a sin and it's a perpetrated crime of fraud. It was how the secret whisper was, how did he do it to us? Why did he do it to us? It was okay to the other fools. That is Talmudic doctrine right there. Talmudic doctrine. You've got to decide. And all this Kabbalistic stuff, as I say, it's out of my competence. I'm not going to preach religion any further than that. But you forked there. You made your choice. And that religion went in that direction for me. That's not to say there's a lot of very honorable, good people that do good and like to do good and want to be fair and treat other people fairly. Doesn't mean everyone is cruel. There's a lot of people that are anti-Zionists in Israel itself, Jewish people who identify by the faith. So, you know, all respect to them, but they're not winning their battle. And the majority seem comfortable with the leadership they have. So it's time for overthrow season and bring decency back into favor. Until then, those are your representatives and you will be judged accordingly. That's how many see it. Yeah, many Christian Zionists, says Dan Pepper. Absolutely correct. Biden amongst them. Blair, Jesus, loathsome individual. Absolutely loathsome. Nothing to do with the Jewish faith. He just converted to Catholicism. Bush, for sure. Most politicians that aren't, anyone who gets into power in America is a Zio, and most of them will be Christian, unless you're in the Fed. Then it's, you know, the cash register, then it's Shlomo and Yellen and, you know, all the two. So, yep, it's a weak religion. We lost our morality. The church is being bent. The Catholic Church decanonized a ritual baby slaughter saint because it was an awkward history that reflected badly on another faith. So they've been told what to do. They're owned. We need the backbone. And it is true. Africa is where there's devout Christianity again. And Korean, says Admin. Yep. I'm a half Jew with a father from Israel. I'm against Zionism with the same heart as all of you. Ben, I respect you for that. And it's a hard thing to say. And it's difficult. And as I say, respect to you. And everyone here will respect you as well, I hope. And there are many people around me that are half Jewish and Jewish. I went to school with Jews, played sport with them. They were good guys. Many good guys. So it is tragic. It is tragic that you end up with this brandishing of all. It's a great pity. And in fact, they're probably in some ways the biggest victims because backlash won't ask questions. It'll be kind of like being a white in South Africa. You could have voted anti-apartheid your whole time, worked in townships to help develop sport. But if there's a backlash and there's violence, no one's going to ask you, what kind of RSA citizen were you? Did you take the police option to subordinate your own citizens, or did you go outside the country? Also, no one will ask. So it's a tragedy. Anyway, Francisco Gomez, you are late, my friend. Anyway, thanks for popping in. It's a Sunday. I felt I had to just check in on this. I don't think fact-wise I've got anything for you, apart from my experience of how does it all pull together. And he is one tentacle in this larger octopus, for which there were incredible coincidences, exceedingly lucky at the Powerball, it seems, his Zorro Trust, amongst many other interesting findings that I've had, carried over 6.9 billion, doesn't matter, it's billions, for Bear Stearns in an offshore trust like a toxic bank, and then got settled in full by the Fed on the bailout, probably because Bear Stearns was acquired and that relationship by the acquiring bank, Merrill, I think it was, didn't like the idea of having a a balance sheet somewhere with a massive hole in it. And the Fed paid for it all. You paid for it as an American citizen. You paid for it all. Many SDAP party members were half Jewish in the 30s. Yep. Has reset started? Reset is well on the way. It's not like it's going to be, it's like a glacier moving into the water. You know, it's so slow you don't notice it until it isn't. It's like a glacier. It's like a glacier moving into the water. And then suddenly there's a crack and a massive chunk of ice falls. Then everyone says that was the moment. No, it wasn't. It started shifting. It was always going to be a crack. That was just a major structural key event that tells you that this has actually been moving. It's like a glacier. The reset started before the millennium started. We were always going to have to do it. We've just accelerated to it a bit quicker than I expected. Yes, Ben, be strong, my friend. You are not loathed. I define Zionism over Judaism totally differently. One of the most bravest groups that are very harshly cheated by the Israeli Defense Force are Jews Against Zionism. There's an incredible Jewish service, because it's compulsory service, like me, who goes around to the Palestinian areas and does tours and shows things that are not of favor and is resented by his government and brutally treated. There are a lot of very brave people that have social conscience, and those are noble people. Let me tell you, those are truly noble people. It's very hard to be in a minority against a draconian military junta, and yes, SA was very much like that as well. I've never known hunger. I hope I never have to. No, you shouldn't have to. There's abundance. Actually, I mean, I talk negatively and it's difficult to see it, but what I can tell you, my worldview, is there is an abundance of water. Don't listen to the water wars. There actually is an abundance of food. Not even for the number we have, for a number plus 4 billion, 5 billion, in actual fact. In fact, everyone could eat affordably. We have distribution issues, and we have crooked governments, and we have all sorts of things that cause bottlenecks that lead to poverty. We have corruption that lead to poverty. There is no shortage. I can't remember the actual amount of solar paneled area you'd have to put in the Sahara to generate all the energy needed for the entire planet. In fact, if we stood shoulder to shoulder, the entire planet, I'm totally anti the overpopulation. Get me when I say I'm anti the overpopulation, that doesn't mean humans don't have a potential environmental effect through what we do, especially when we have ships that burn bottom of the barrel asphalt, sulfur, oil, and 9 ships cause more toxic carbon than all the cars on the planet. But I'm not comfortable with the global warming narrative and how it pipes into overpopulation. And I see they've been wheeling out old national treasure him of the BBC Animals fame. And I'm always dropping his name. What's his name again? Help me before I make a fool of myself. The old geezer that does the nature programs on the BBC. Help me before I'm going to get mad about this, that I've forgotten that. But there is absolute abundance in truth. Everyone, Attenborough, thank you, Smithy. There's absolute abundance in the world if you equalize and you make good availability for it. But power, it means you have to have haves and have-nots. Power means Maslow hierarchy needs. There need to be people on the lower end of the pyramid that cannot even fill basic needs, even when there's abundance. There's milk, there's tomatoes that are dumped and thrown away all over the place. Nice t-shirt. This is the tiger. This is the, thank you for the compliment, by the way. That is the tiger of the ayahuasca. You get the snake tiger, and I knew you guys would think I flipped to the wrong side if I came out with a snake one. So I've got the tiger. If you go to an ayahuasca ceremony, that's him there. Oh, let me stand up. Oh, the knees are hurting. Whoops, there are snakes there as well, are there? I think there might be. Oh, I've just given myself up. But there's the tiger version, and then there's or is it the leopard? I can't quite know. I've got to get the right cat. And then there's the snake version, and you actually take ayahuasca and they make these hissing noises if you're doing the snake version. And then there's the cat one. So yeah, that's where it is. It comes from Mexico, Acapulco. David Attenborough, thanks for bailing me out, Dex and guys. Yep. So they've wheeled him out in front of people. He's doing this overpopulation thing. If you took all the people in the planet and you put them side by side, we would fit inside Kansas, a small, medium-sized state in America. There's more chickens in the world than there are humans. Okay, but we obviously have a bigger carbon footprint. Chickens don't take holidays to Mallorca and Ibiza and on boats churning out carbon. But the point is, we could reduce carbon footprint and have another 3 billion people. I'm not saying we should, but there's such mixed messages out of the left. It's like, we got to pipe these immigrants in because Germany and Sweden, whites mustn't have babies, any more babies. You bring another white baby into the world, it should be killed. I've seen people tweeting like that. I'm going like, what? And then they go, but there's negative demographic growth in Sweden and Germany and across Europe, and this is all a problem. Okay, hang on. What is the actual message here? What is the actual message? Are we in a demographic problem, or are we trying to reduce the population here? What actually are you saying? So this is what I call the two corners of the mouth conversation. Say one thing down there and say another thing down there, and that's pure deception tactics. Keep people confused, bedazzled with wide varieties of bullshit. Orthodox Jews against Zionism, yes, indeed. Did I block you? I shouldn't have blocked you. You must have misbehaved. Who blocked you? I didn't do anything right now. I love all of you for attending. Multinational mafia. That's it. Food is infinite. It grows from the ground. Absolutely. It grows from the ground. And I've got a lemon tree. I get lemons, all the lemons I need. And I give lemons to other people. My guys, they bring lemons for us. We can make lemonades. We've got apple trees. They're pomegranates. They're falling off the turret. We're in a dry and warm climate. You've got fruit falling off everywhere. Overpopulation is absolute crap. Depopulation has been the plan for a long time, but it's who they decide for depopulation. I think Kevin's referring to the Guidestones. I think it's Georgia, was it, or one state that they put them up. The financial will tie in with the solar reset. So the financial reset and the social change they want will all go together, and that they're going to be saying there's a whole new world. You're going to hear a whole lot of whole new worlding. And that ain't new at all. It's been in the plan. It's old and stale as hell. But it's the game where they get to stay boss. So when you hear this whole new world, and they're going to sell it with all the sizzle and joy and love and light, and it's we get to stay the boss, and we get to own you and know you and track you in every way. And this is all this whole Epstein story is. He's just a foot soldier that has served his term and done his use. He can't come back in this guise anymore, otherwise he'll end up jailed. They can't put him in a position where he might speak, so he's retired. Yep, fart less. You also need the beef to fart less. That's the big problem, Smithy. It's the livestock that generate methane there. Taxi driver in Sweden told me that it's not wonder those responsible for World War I are now responsible for taking in third world immigrants. Didn't understand his thought. Yeah, I also don't. Been to Sweden. It was nice. It was interesting. China or Russia fighting the control structure or part of it? In my view, they are all part of it, but they are disparate machines that on certain points have differences of opinion and want their own degree of power. So even in a power structure, there's still power battles within a power structure. So you can't reduce it to complete simplicity. There's no nation state that's for the working man in all countries of the world. If you're Putin and head of Russia, what do you care about the Congolese working men that are hungry? I don't think Putin stays awake thinking about it, and I don't think the Congolese dictator is busy thinking about Sri Lanka's losing its land to China. He's taking the money and living for the day that China offers him. Yeah, well, that's the thing. There is a bit of there's an anti-white agenda, and it's important for any of you that are not identifying as white that you don't let that happen as well, because the problem is you're next. We all need to fight the control structure, and we need to be unified. They want you divided and conquer. They want a race war in America. They want a race war in South Africa. I don't want to see a race war. If you told me all the whites would kill all the blacks, I wouldn't want that. I don't want to see that. I absolutely don't want to see that. And I want for black people not to want that either. And I want for Asian people not to want for other Asian nations to be slaughtered. We've got to be united against a control structure. This is the optimism we've got to see. We've got to recognize who's running the game here. And it's crabs in a bucket, divide and conquer. They need to tell me, so-and-so is doing this, that race is doing that, and they want to turn us in against each other. I'm not, many people are harsh on Muslims. They've bought too much of the Zio thing. Muslims are not your enemy. Go to the Middle East, you get incredible food, well served, very gracefully, by people who are generous in spirit. Sure, when it comes to certain religious things, they might be fanatic and jump up and down, but so are we in certain instances. We're not at war with Muslim people. We must be their friends. And we're not at war either with Jewish people. It's also important to say. We have a Zionism problem. That's what we have. We have a Zionism problem, and Epstein was part of that. And unfortunately, with that one individual dying, it's like a lizard's reptile's tail. It falls off and it wriggles and keeps you entertained looking at the wriggled tail while the real reptile goes on and grows a new tail. Don't sit there over fascinating about this tail. Of course, it's hijinks. Of course, it's trending on Twitter. Of course, everybody wonders what happened. But the beast, even though he was very powerful and had lots of control over lots of money and was doing many things, he's still also just a pawn. He's the tail of a lizard that will be eaten by some cat or predator, and the new tail grows and he'll be replaced. There's a new Epstein on his way right now, making contact with all the traffickers, getting a new Maxwell to run cover and be his wingman for him so that he can pick up underage girls. There's new honey traps being planned right now for US politicians to ensure that it is a totally owned state of Israel. And when I say Israel, the Zionist state of Israel, not the good guys that resent Zionism, not the good guys that hate seeing the conduct of some of the IDF people towards people. And, we just divided and conquered. Okay, I think I should wrap it. Cyril is the trigger for SA race war. I hope to be wrong on that, but I fear it. We say Muslims are simply brainwashed into that cult religion. It's a dangerous comment, Kevin. I would say you've got to remember religion gave us morals. It was a control structure, but it also brought a morality. It brought a morality of decency. Some of us needed at the start maybe to have it. I went anti-religion, sort of am I atheist and all of it. Actually, there's interesting Revelations is fascinating about what's coming. You talk about not taking the mark of the beast. It comes out of a Bible, that straight out of Revelations. Don't do it. They say, don't go for it. You'll be marginalized eventually. Keep resisting. There will be 7 years of tribulation. I'm starting to come back and thinking this is potentially prophecy, assuming it was legit. And they try to change the Bible. You've got to now know which versions you're looking at. And biblically, the Muslims have something pretty similar that has a lot of dovetailing with that. So I've listened to Muslim clerics. It's a bizarre thing to say, but no, I've listened to some of them, and some of what they're accurate and they've exposed about Zionism is very true, and you don't get to hear it in normal channels. Don't fear to take knowledge from someone who you've been told is an enemy. Seek out all those people. They say, do not listen to these people. Your ruler is those who you are told you may not criticize, and they will tell you who your enemies are. Be friendly towards those that you're told your enemies. Go in with an open mind and listen. In some things, Muslims are far more awake on the role of Zionism than Westerners. They were advanced culture. I've been served by Turks all weekend. They were gracious, kind, polite, courteous, made better food than my beloved Orthodox Greeks, good people. I'm not here. My problem is I like people, and if they're genuine and sincere, I can feel it and I can sense it, and I like them back for it. We've got to be real careful how we do that, and that goes for the same Jews that are fighting Zionism. 2 minutes of hate. You don't understand. Rome fell, then Christianity filled a vacuum. There was tithing. They realized it was powerful. Tithing was, the tax collectors used to get killed in the far off Roman Empire. But when people tied a belief system like a church, They willingly gave 10% of the income, and then taxes only went up from there, I'm afraid to say. Remember to smash the like button, says Smithy. Yes, appreciate that. Appreciate the prompt. I think the problem is immigration. Yeah, it could well be. Okay, guys, that's my take on. We've sprawled into lots of topics. It's a Sunday evening. Thanks for checking in and subscribing. Thanks for liking. No ads, you'll note from me. I don't care to monetize. I don't do it. I talk for the passion of it and the love of it. And I thank you for your input on it. It's just cool to check in with you. I started something and I didn't want to leave you hanging on that, on the Epstein story, but that's the gist of it. It's a tentacle of a machine. He was well supported. He was well funded. And most of that will come from the Zionist aspects of the Israel state. And that is the key message. And with him going down, he will be replaced by a new man. Just like Kushner said to Mohammed bin Salim of Saudi Arabia, don't worry, it'll blow over, the Khashoggi thing. This whole thing, as sad as it will blow over, because we know who our captives are. Some suffer from Stockholm syndrome. They don't call them out. They hope to bond with them in the hope that they'll not be killed. They could form a relationship with them. And often they're the first shot. That's how it goes. Anyway, final comments. God bless, brother. Yes, indeed. Good night to you. Thanks, says Old World Order. Pleasure. Thank you for coming on. So either they killed him or they got him out, and this guy didn't commit suicide. He was a narcissist, and narcissists rarely kill themselves. You're quite right. You're quite potentially right. And it shouldn't have been easy for him to do. I've seen a lot of Zio-splaining where they say, yeah, it's real hard to keep pedophiles alive and all of that. It's real hard to kill yourself. Go try it. No, don't. That's just a joke. It's real hard to kill yourself. If I had to do it right now, I wouldn't know where to start, man. A curtain, jump out the window. You can't cock that shit up. A lot of people would. It's pretty damn tough to do. Anyway, on that cheery note of failed suicide attempts, I will leave you to your week ahead. By the way, I think a bit of a risk off in the markets. It could be that Bitcoin eases a little bit, could be that gold eases a little bit. I haven't seen how it opens on the markets, but they're going to be worried about the metals. We'll watch and see. That's not a strong opinion. I need to check how we open Sunday evening. Some of the markets will be open. I will be doing a vid. Actually, we're getting quite a good candle out of Bitcoin holding up, actually. So it could be a falling wedge continuation. We'll see. Don't take that too seriously as a remark. Let me rather have a good look at the charts, and I'll come back during the week. I promised 3 YouTubes on the Market Sniper. If you're on the Reset Sniper but not on the Market Sniper, please go sub. I promised 3 tubes on 3 trades. I will be disclosing those during the course of this week. I'll be releasing them. I don't know which days. I might try to get one out for Monday. Don't hold me to the promise, but I will get 3 out before Friday. An FX trade, which I've already told you about, but I'll make the case so that you can see why. I'll do that one first. It's a mega trade. All my premium guys have it. This is your gift into the community if you want it. If you don't, you won't, and that's fine by me as well. It's no contract. It's a spirit of the willing. Then there is a equity trade that I see a 6/7 loss of market cap. That's a bit of a funny number. Left with 1/7 of its market cap potentially. I'll be talking about that. It's in the energy space. And I'll be securing options against that. That'll probably come midweek, second half, and then I'll do a third one by Friday, which will be shipping that's being squeezed both on the top line and the bottom line, which could see further sell-off. So watch out for those if you're traders. Catch you all, and thanks for popping on. I appreciate you. Thanks for the likes. You gave me 41 likes. I thank you very much for that. Every single one of you did that. And I'm grateful to have had you. Just about everybody gave me a like. I appreciate you for that. Thank you so much. Have a good evening and God bless.